Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are live once again in UFRL. And tonight is the 100% realistic cars race here. A big Grand Prix, this one, the Austrian Grand Prix, a fan favourite. Incredible speeds that everybody can go out around this track. And let's see how they will fare. And it's 2.683 mile circuit, 10 turns in total, with the best overtaking opportunities through into turns 3 and 4. But you will see plenty of overtakes, I'm sure, into turns 1. Some may risk it around turns 6 and 7. And you may get the opportunistic moves into turns 9 and 10 as well. So plenty of overtaking opportunities. High-speed track rather. What's not to love around this track here? And let's head to the circuit. Here we go then. And we're straight on live as PRV Widget is kickstarting that, but Hazer is just ahead, so we will go with the AlphaTauri on his first run here with a 16.244 into Sector 1, and now on the run down, exiting out of Turn 3 and through into Turn 4 now, as you continue to rise uphill into Turn 4, and you want to take it nicely onto the curb. Avoid a little bit of the curb on the inside, but again, you can touch it on the outside, but again, you want to avoid it. And here we go now, and continuing through the lap. And let's see if Hazer, how quickly he'll go. 45.505 through the Sector 2 split time. So it is still looking competitive. Now let's put the game sound on as well. There you go. Should be able to hear it all. And Hazer now passing through the pit entry. Tricky to enter the pits at times around here, especially if there's cars around you. For Hazer, 1 minute 5.179. And that is the first time in qualifying PRV Widget. 106.132. And let's go down. The out of AlphaTauri of Black Panther will set a time, and let's see where he will go. And in fact, did he invalidate his lap? I think he may have done. 105.8 is what he set, but it's not gone up on the timer, meaning he did indeed invalidate. An improvement there for Algerie then, as he goes into 105.6, 105.4 for the Williams of Coffee as well. And Beast with a 105.2, just a tenth off the pace of Hazer. And there is Link's piece going quickest, a 104.9 on for him, as we're on with the McLaren of WBA Brewdog. And let's see any more in time. Stickman goes P8, Dom goes 5th fastest, and Brewdog to the line goes 8th fastest, 106.1 for him. And down towards Doug, it's P7, a 105.7. As we continue to drop down the field with Black Panther pushing on another lap then, and we'll see what Late Bloomer and Prix can do as well. Where's Prix at the moment? Just in front of Late Bloomer rather, so we will go with the McLaren of Prix for his first run. Hybrid is in the Alpine as well. Plenty of competition here in the 100% tier. And Prez now is trying to take his place. A debut as well to note for Sergeant Devsey in that Williams. Gets to set a time, still in the pits. Here comes Prezi, 4th place rather. Great time from him. Late Bloomer goes into the top 10 as well. And dropping down the field with Black Panther now crossing the line. He goes P13, not a competitive lap time. And Hybrid is the next driver to set his first run. The Alfa Romeo of Destroyer Jack just coming round to start a lap as well. Rusted Bolt just starting his lap. But we're going to go back towards Hybrid. 45.964 through the Sector 2 split time. And again, 10 turns in total around this fast-flowing Austrian Grand Prix. The Red Bull Ring, of course. And now here comes Hybrid on the exit of turn 10, leading to the line, but he invalidates his time. There will be no time for him on that run. But again, plenty of time to get times in. And even if you invalidate, you've still got plenty of time after that. Rusted Bolt will be amongst the next drivers to set a time. There is a Mercedes leading up to the line of Doug. Let's see if he will go any faster. It doesn't look like it. He remains 8th fastest. Rusted Bolt showing up as purple through Sector 2. So we'll see if the Haas will strive to improve as the AlphaTauri is out. I wonder if that may be Hazer again because he's out on track. I know it was indeed Black Panther, but he doesn't set an improved lap as Rusted Bolt goes 2nd fastest, and it makes it a Haas 1 and 2 for Lynx and Rusted Bolt. And there you go, Destroyer Jack goes 5th fastest himself, the Alfa Romeo with a 105.347. Doug now just about in the top 10. He was improving through the Sector 1 split as well. And you've got the Red Bull of Stickman improving by 0.4 of a second himself. And Stickman will stay 14th fastest, but a 106.2, a good improvement from him. And down towards Black Panther, will he improve on this lap time? Let's find out. Hybrid invalidates once more. So the Alpine still needs to set his first time. And Merc out onto the track as well, just guiding his way beyond turn 1. Into turns 2 and 3 now. We'll go back down towards Doug. He did improve. It goes 9th fastest with 105.597. Just ahead of the Aston Martin of Aldry. That top 10 do have a little bit of a gap towards the likes of Widget, Bloomer, Brewdog, Stickman and Black Panther. Black Panther also not on a lap at the moment. Sergeant Devsey out on track for his first run. A debut for the Williams. Then you've got Hybrid pushing again. It's showing up as purple through the Sector 1 split for Hybrid, but I can guarantee you that is not a purple sector. He is recovering his battery. Merc as well, not pushing on a hot lap as Destroyer Drag has left the session. We can. Oh yeah, I know we got race control. The race control can invite him back in. Rusted Bolt then, currently in P2. Hazer improving, it seems, through that Sector 1 split. 105.179 is currently Hazer's best time. But we all know he'll be a favourite, or amongst the favourites, to win this race eventually when it gets round to it. But who will take pole is the question. He's improving, but only marginal. It does look like it is advantage to Haas in the form of Link's Piece and Rusted Bolt. Let's go down towards Hybrid again. Let's see. I know it's not an official run, but he will kickstart his lap. Sergeant Devsey just behind him. His first run, 11th fastest, 106.0. And Hazer goes P2. Coffee goes 3rd fastest himself. So good times being taken here. Beast remaining in P5. And leading to the line now was the Haas of Rusted Bolt. He looks like he will stay P4, but he does improve and equals the time of the Williams of Coffee. A 105.163, and the rain has arrived. I say it's arrived. I didn't know it was going to arrive, but the rain has arrived, and that may be quaddy over. If you have not set a competitive time like Merc, he's going for it now, but there is rain on track, and he will go 8th fastest for Merc, 105.5. Given the conditions, that's a good time, but he really needs to push on quicker than that. Did he need to take the extra outlaps? Should he have gone for it on his first effort? I think maybe he might regret it, because he definitely seems to have some pace. In fact, he could do that whilst it's raining. Yeah, he definitely had more pace than that. Doug has retired in the pit lane, and I get the impression a lot of drivers may do something similar to what Doug has just done, because surely there is no time for improvements. Hybrid did only improve with a 107.3. P18 Glue yet to set a time in the Aston Martin, and him not being in the lobby sadly has not benefited the Aston Martin at all, and that's surely quaddy done and dusted in terms of who's getting pole. It looks like Link's Piece will take pole, as Destroyer Drac will be the first driver contemplating an intermediate tyre run. I do wonder if we are due for rain here. That'll be an interesting factor in this Grand Prix. Is there rain due? Anyways, let's stick with Glue then. His first run on Hybrid, I think, is just behind him. Hybrid not improving, unsurprisingly. And DRS has now been disabled. Again, not a particularly big surprise. Glue across the line. It's a 109.3. He does end up P19, and that is quaddy done and dusted. There will be no more improvements. Factoring in people retiring as well, there is no expectation of the rain settling down. So that will be it then. With 7.5 minutes remaining, there will be no grid changes, and Link's Piece will be taking pole. We will go back towards Glue then, the only driver out on track, but there may be some drivers thinking to go on inters, especially if there is rain due for the race. You might want to go for an intermediate run. That does make things intriguing though for the race, if, only if, we are due to have some wet weather. If not, it's a bit pointless going for inters, if I'm completely honest. But if we are due for some rain, then yeah, go for it. Would be nice if anybody wishes to let us know as well. If we are due for some rain, feel free to let us know. It'd be very nice to find out, that's for sure. If not, then yeah, just say either way really. But at the moment, we can only go by what's happening in quali, and the fact that people are doing some outlaps on the intermediates. I mean, it would feel unnecessary to do those outlaps on the intermediates if we weren't due for any rain at all. Unless they just want to be out on track maybe, but this is a time where you could get a little break in possibly. So yeah, it's one of those really, and you know, a few drivers have retired, they haven't bothered with any intermediate running. So it is an interesting factor what's going on there. So we'll go towards Destroyer Jack. He will be a driver just starting a lap on these inters. Yes, clearly intermediate conditions. Wouldn't surprise me. The rain is falling down. If it may even end up full wet by the end of this qualifying session. But for now, it remains intermediate. So on the run through, it's turn 3 now. Right hand in this one, it can be very easy to lose some traction out of turn 3 as well, so you've always got to be careful. Even more so in the rain, of course, but it is a tricky corner at times, particularly once a tyre wear settles in as well. And now on the exit of turn 4, leading into turn 5. Again, if you get the correct exit out of here, and maybe the driver ahead struggles with the exit, you've got a chance through turns 6 and into turn 7 as well. And there you go. You can certainly go too wide there. And it's not particularly easy to go too wide, but you can go too wide around turn 6 and 7. Now on the run through into turn 9 for Destroyer Jack. Again, of course he won't be improving on his time, but he will be able to start in the top 6 and get some intermediate running done. Good evening, Speedy Bullet. Hope you're doing well. Destroyer Jack then 114.2 on that run. And we'll have a little drop down. Hazer, see what he can do. So 114.2 is what Destroyer Jack set on his intermediates. What about the two AlphaTauris? 114.2 Drac. It's a 114.2 for Hazer. And Black Panther doesn't show it. It does not show it for Black Panther, unfortunately. But there you go. Hazer and Drac both done a 114.2 on their intermediate runs. Didn't quite find out for Black Panther. Hybrid retiring as well. There are still more drivers going on track. I don't know if this is just to try and get the flow of the track or not, or if it's getting prepared for the race. We still have not had any confirmation if we are due for rain or not. That would be very interesting. Let's have a little look. Link's piece out on track. And yeah, plenty of drivers are retiring from the session then. Destroyer Drac still out there, and let's see what he does here. Was thinking about going into the pit lane. He runs very wide, and I think now he will go into the pits. Looks like Glue having some struggles to stay in the lobby, unfortunately. 109.3 was the best he could do, which was taking into account Glue's best time wasn't at a representative point because it was when the rain had already started. Similar for Hybrid as well, although he did get a couple of attempts, he invalidated them unfortunately, so only P18 for Hybrid. And Merc as well, maybe a surprise driver in terms of, not in terms of where they are. I mean P8, maybe you'd expect him to be higher, but he done very well to get P8 given he ended his lap whilst the rain was falling down. So a 105.5 for him, he could have definitely gained a few tenths of a second if he had done his quickest lap in dry conditions. And all of the action really has been encountered in the opening 10 minutes of the session. 18 minutes in total, so yeah, by the time there was 7.5 minutes left, the rain was definitely comfortably falling down. Merck did have plenty of time before that to get a time in, but obviously decided to do it maybe when the track was a little bit damp. I think he would have wished he had tried that lap time a lap or two prior, because he did do a couple of outlaps as well. So pretty damaging for him, unfortunately. As our Def see 113.8 on his run. And let's see what Merck would set on this run as well. The Alfa Romeo just passing up to the line now. It would be a 113.1. And you got Hazer just ahead of Black Panther, 113.9. Black Panther again, unfortunately, he's so close to his teammate. We couldn't quite capture his lap time, but you get the impression it was probably pretty close between the AlphaTauris. They are running extremely close to each other here. indicating that Black Panther does have some pace here in the AlphaTauri card. Again, Dom retiring, so we're down to about half the grid, maybe just over that, in terms of who are still out. In terms, well, so who are out. Link's Peace now also retiring from the session. Just under 90 seconds remaining in total then. And I think Quali, well, I mean, it's definitely done in terms of positions, but will anybody go quickly on these intermediates? That's the question. Sergeant Defc still out on track. Will he be making a move into the pit? Yes, he will, so that will be his session over. Blue retiring as well. Now you've got Stickman out on track, 18.1 through Sector 1, but not using his ERS. Let's go back down. I'm going to have a little look towards Black Panther on this occasion because I've seen Hybrid, as Black Panther definitely goes wide, but it's a 14-0 for Black Panther. Wasn't too sure if I wanted to say 13 or 14 there, but yeah, 14-0 Black Panther. And again, he's very close to that of Hazer. So, very interesting to see that. Rusted Bolt then. Let's see him leading up to the line now. It's a 1:12.4. An impressive time from the Haas, although Hazer not using battery. Black Panther has got plenty of battery left himself. And now, there you go. We've only got the 3 drivers out on track with 20 seconds of qualifying remaining. Link's Peace will take pole. Hazer will join him on the front row. Coffee and Bolt will be on the second row. And it will be Beast ahead of Destroyer Drac on that third row. Good starting positions for both of them. Prezi on the fourth row alongside Merc. Then you've got Dom and Doug on the fifth row. Aldry will start alongside Black Panther. And that is your sixth row. Then you've got Devsy and Brewdog lining up on the seventh row. Widget and Late Bloomer will line up on the eighth row. Then on the 9th row will be Stickman and Hybrid. And the 10th row by himself will be the Aston Martin of Glue. And there you go, the final times then. Here we go with Black Panther and Hazer's final laps. 14-0 there for Black Panther. 14-1 for Hazer. And the final driver will be Rusted Bolt in the Haas. He's got to beat 114s. Can he do it without using too much of his battery? I think he might do here. It's looking like a 1:12.7 in the end for Bolt, but either way, it is pole position for the Haas of Link's Peace. So we knew for about 10 minutes in that session, maybe just under, that there weren't going to be any improvements coming in, but some of them wanted to go on the inters, which I do find intriguing though. Did they go for wet practice purely because it was going to be wet in the race, or did they just want to stay out on the track? It's one or the other. We could be anticipating some rain in the race. But then if there is rain in the race, I kind of wonder why nobody else really tried it. I mean, there were certainly a few drivers, but I would have expected everybody to try out on the intermediate tyres. So not that many did in the end. But either way, that is qualifying completed. And let's get to the nitty-gritty here of the race at the Austrian Grand Prix. A 5-minute break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and just to confirm, there will be some drops of rain apparently reportedly later in the race. So watch out for that one. That could mean maybe around lap 50 is a rough estimation for when the rain could arrive. But again, it's only expected to be light rain. It may not even deem intermediate tyres to be the correct option. It may still be dry tyre conditions. But it may also be intermediates. It might be a mixture of the two, who knows? But anyways, we will not have long to go now. But yeah, Link's piece taking a fantastic pole. The two has look well set. And now we are getting to the nitty gritty of things. Who will come home with the win? But let's find out what will happen. 71 laps in total. And here we are. And it is the 5 lights are out. Oh, drive-through penalty for Merck. He's gone well before everyone, but it's lights out. And it's go, go, go. And Link's piece with the better start. I mean, Merck had the best start of the lot, it's fair to say that. And further down the field, it seems relatively clean. A Red Bull a little bit off track in the form of, oh, that's Aston Martin rather, in the form of Algerie. But, no, it was a Red Bull rather. I think that may have been PRV Widget. But up the front of the field then, Hazer is squabbling away. Link's piece battling with Merck side by side. And Link's piece takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Merck with a flying start, albeit with a penalty, a drive-through penalty, a big penalty that one. For Merck, he will drop effectively down from P2 to last place. But Link's piece has made a strong start here. Pole and leads on lap 1 still. Yellow flags. Oh, big carnage at the back. It is between Widget. Hybrid looks like he may have been involved as well. So certainly something between Hybrid and PRV Widget. And the Red Bull and the Alpine. Struggling as the Alpine has lost the front wing, and it will be a virtual safety car. Have a little look at the tyres then. It is medium tyres for all of those running in the top 6. And then it is Prezi Press P7 on the soft tyres. P8 and P9 both on the medium tyres. And then further down we've got P10 Black Panther in the AlphaTauri on the softs. P11 through to P13 are all on medium tyres. P14 Brewdog, the only driver on the hard tyres. Merck has made a move on Link's piece. We're back up and running meanwhile. And let's see, down the inside goes Link's piece on Merck. And that may give Hazer an opportunity here. Do not rule out the AlphaTauri. More yellow flags. What's happened here? Looks like a Ferrari may have been involved. Is it Beast? Potentially Beast is off. He's well off. He's reversed into the wall, Beast. Hopefully he hasn't got rear ring damage from that. But either way, at the front of the field again. And Link's piece is still in the lead of the race. Merck, when will he settle for his drive-through penalty? I get the impression it will likely be this lap. Can't wait too long, can the Alfa Romeo? The best option will be to do it as soon as possible, really. I'll be staying out for an extra lap. Has he... Would a game tell him he has to do it this lap, though? There's many drivers setting fast laps. Algerie 108.9. And there you go, that is current fast lap. All of those drivers up to Algerie, in fact, in the top 8 are in this DRS train. Dom and Doug just outside at the moment. They will struggle to get back into it though. So it is an eight car battle currently for potential win. But again, we've got plenty of laps remaining, plenty of drivers battling for position, and Russell Bolt getting close towards Coffee as well. And that is effectively for P4. Further down the field, Prezi was having a little look at Destroyer Drag. In fact, has overtaken Destroyer Drag. And Algerie goes through as well. Algerie takes them both. Prezi Press drops the place to Destroyer Drag meanwhile. And this means this trio have lost the ground on the top 5. And I don't know. I mean, maybe Prezi and Drac may have had some contact, in fact. And that would have been on the exit of turn 4. So there was potential contact between them. Can't guarantee there was, but there was certainly potential for it. When will Merck? Why has he not taken it this lap? He's got to take it this lap, surely. We're on lap 4. And just to confirm, he definitely does have a drive-through penalty. Yes, he does. The game will tell him he's got to take it this lap. He's got to serve it. he can't afford to keep going past the pit lane. He's got to serve that drive-through penalty this lap, or he will be disqualified from the race. Black Panther now takes Stickman. He's up into the top 15, Black Panther. Not where the AlphaTauri would want to be at this stage of the race. Hybrid and Widget both had to pit further down the field and back to the lead with Lynx and Hazer. And don't forget, Merc is trying to challenge Hazer for that championship as well. So we'll see who will come out on top here, as Lynx Piece taking a nice line as well. And on the run down into turn 9. And I'm expecting Merc to pull into the pit lane. And there you go. A little bit of lag, but he does find his way into the pits anyways to serve his drive-through penalty. And let's go back to the front then with Lynx and Hazer. Hazer all over the rear of Lynx, and that from Merc means that Coffee now is 0.8 of a second away. Aldry has now dropped out of DRS as well, so it's down to a 4-way battle at the front, and certainly a 2-way battle here between Hazer and Lynx. Lynx Piece there with a little cheeky potential move under braking, in fact, there, as he drops in behind the AlphaTauri. But either way now, Lynx Piece will go for the overtake now on the run through. It's turn 4, down the inside he goes. And Lynx Piece back into the lead of the race. High Hazer drops in P2. Coffee is caught up, and Rusty Bolt is in there as well. Can Algery catch this pack up? He's got a chance, you know. He's definitely got the capabilities, and I've got to say, if he can catch that group up, he would have had an amazing week of racing. With an on-track victory, of course, at Monza in Tier 2, a fantastic performance from him. I mean, King Kong said it best, he was up and down in that race, depending on the conditions. I mean, he did make a strategy blunder earlier in the race that was coming through the field very well, in fact. So Algery there is definitely in fine form after a victory at Monza in Tier 2, but now, can he find his way through near this pack, which includes both Lynx and Hazer. Hazer now round the outside, and on the run through into turn 3, completes the overtake. But Lynx Piece will get DRS on him, as will Coffee. So both Coffee and Bolt still there, but here comes Lynx Piece. He will go for the move down the inside of the AlphaTauri, and the Haas will go into P1. And this is a 4-way battle for the lead as things stands. But Algery is catching up, 1 second behind now, and this could go from a 4-way battle to a 7-way battle, with Algery, Destroyer Track and Prez in the frame as well. Back down, or back up rather, towards Hazer. But yeah, nice to see Lynx doing well, that is for sure. I completely agree with that. And he's battling now. Again, he did have his struggles in all fairness at Silverstone, but he's not having a struggle here. He's doing well against this trio, but now it is not a 4-way battle, it is now certainly a 7-way battle. Doug and Dom, meanwhile, are they going to start catching up to this pack? Could it be a 9-way battle? If the Mercedes and the Alpine can work together well, they might have a chance. A battle further back as well, with Brewdog and Glue. As we go down towards that battle, with Glue making the move, and they will be down the inside. Who will get DRS? Who will break later? It looks like the Aston Martin. Who will get DRS? It must be Brewdog, but it must have been ever so close. But Glue does take the position, and up into the top 10 he goes. Brewdog has lost a lot of ground on his hard tyres, however, but he does stay within a second. Late Bloomer still in there as well, but he has dropped out of DRS range, unfortunately for him. Some big gaps are occurring though. It looks like PRV Widget at the back of the field is a long way back. He needs a safety car to rescue his race. Back up then towards Algery, who was looking quick at this stage of the race. Again, in fine form, Monza and now Austria, and he's battling with Rusted Bolt. Let's see what he can do here. I know we do take into consideration he is, I should have turned that off actually, but he has got no battery left. But now, let's have a little check on whether Algery can make a move on Rusted Bolt, or can Bolt, can he get the move on Coffee? Don't forget, he'll be under a bit of pressure from Algery behind, and now he's making a move down the inside of Coffee. He would have felt he had to go for it. He does go for a little bit of contact perhaps, but he does make the move, and onto the podium he goes. Coffee will have a look back at him, but I don't think Coffee's quite in a position to go for the overtake. And Bolt is onto the podium now. And again, a great exit there from Algary as well, who's all over the rear of Coffee. Just about a tenth of a second adrift, but he's not in a position to overtake. And then you've got Prez as well, all over Destroyer Drac. So a couple of drivers are threatening the driver ahead in the form of Aldry and Prez. And now let's see if Aldry can make a move on Coffee or not. Directly on board with him. Potential track limits warning there for Aldry. Certainly it may have been one there, but he may have been off track long enough for the game to not give him a warning. And obviously with strict corner cutting here at Austria, you may very well see plenty of track limit warnings and therefore track limit penalties around the circuit as Hazer looks for a move down the inside of Link's piece, doesn't quite complete it. He does get DRS out of it. Rusted Bolt in there as well, and Coffee and Aldry still there. And we're going to go, I think, with Aldry. Can he make a move here? This is still a 7-way battle. But Doug and Dom are not far away, and they're going side by side here. Doug with the inside line for turn 4, but can Dom make a switchback? Or will he have a look down the inside of the Mercedes here? I think Dom will just hold in behind. And again, yes, he does. Around a double. Left-hander. So there you go. Doug stays clear for the meantime. And let's go back up then. Back towards Aldry we go. Yeah, certainly a strong battle here. All 7 drivers looking good, although bit of a gap now towards Destroyer Drac, who is still in DRS range but starting to lose time. And Prez on the soft tyres as well, don't forget. He may begin to lose some time as well in the next few laps. We'll have to keep watching Prez just to see if he will lose time. But now round the outside goes Hazer, and he is back up into the race lead. Link's piece has been leading for the majority of this Grand Prix, in fact, after taking pole. But Hazer is right there with him. Where's Merck at the moment? So Merck is down at P14. Don't forget, he did start very well. But I mean, he was leading. He was leading into turn 1. It was an incredible start from Merck. Sadly, he got a drive-through penalty for a jump start. So you could argue it was a great start. You could argue it wasn't the best of starts from him. But now he's in P14. And he's got Black Panther up ahead. Black Panther also on the soft tyres. Still keeping up with this battle here from Hazer into turns 9 and now on the exit of turn 9 into turn 10. Who is in the best position out of these drivers? Well, Merck now is starting to pull in Black Panther. He's not particularly close, I don't think, to the AlphaTauri right now, but he will be relatively close in the next couple of laps, I'm sure, as that battle is running to P11 with WBA Brewdog at the front of it on the hard tyres. Dom makes a move on Doug, and he's back up into the top 8, and Aldry makes his move on Coffee now. That is a big move from the Aston Martin and up it to the top 4. And this is a chance for Prez. Looking at a move around the outside of Destroyer Drac. Side by side they go. And who has got a move? They're vying. They're battling hard. And I think, has Drac stayed ahead? But Prez will get the inside line. And he stays clear. Still side by side are Prez and Destroyer Drac. They're continuing at it now. Through and around the bends. Who was going to face it off? Track goes Drac before a spin. Little bit of contact between them. Can't see who exactly was at fault for it, but either way, Drac has lost these places now, sadly. And he is down to P12. And he's not battling, it seems, with Black Panther, and he may let his teammate go through as well. Maybe not. He stays ahead of Merck. Merck will definitely get DRS off his teammate for sure. And Merck may go for an overtake here. Drac not battling too hard. I think he'll be aware, in all fairness, that his tyres won't be in a great conditions right now. Unfortunately, he drops down. We'll go back up lane towards the lead. As Prez is outside a 1 second window of the top 5 after that contact. But now Hazer and Link's Piece continuing at it. And Link's Piece with the race lead once more then. So that 5-way battle now, which was a 7-way battle. Sadly, not anymore. Let's see if we can have a little look at WBA Brewdog. He is caught up to late bloomer. Maybe the hard tyres are beginning to work. I can't say they're working better than mediums at the moment because, then again, Brewdog's the only driver on the hard tyres. So it just ultimately depends. Oh, a spin further back. That was Black Panther and the AlphaTauri. Just about caught that. Unfortunately, he's lost the place then to both Alfa Romeos, and he will have the debutant Sergeant Devsey in the Williams in the frame as well. Maybe Sergeant Devsey needs a bit of a quicker car next race. I will take that into consideration because well, Austria is naturally about straight line speed more often than not. But obviously you need that the chassis, and you need a downforce for sure. So yeah, I will take into consideration that for Devsey. But anyways, back to the front here, and there was a little battle going on. Dom repassing Doug, and Brewdog and Late Bloomer going at it as well. And Late Bloomer does seem to be ahead, but can Brewdog overtake the Canadian and go up to the top 10? Let's have a little watch. I don't think he's close enough, unfortunately. So no, not quite, and therefore Late Bloomer stays ahead. Well, Stickman takes the place of Devsey, does he? Yes, he does. Stickman runs a bit deep, however. In fact, he couldn't have run much more deeper than that. But unfortunately, Devsey does go through. Beast, though, takes a pair of them and moves up into the top 14. After his spin earlier in the race, he's back up in a decent position. Next up for him will be Destroyer Drac, who of course had that incident earlier with Prezi. Prez doesn't seem to have got any front wing damage as a result, fortunately for him. So back up to the front we go with Lynx, Hazer, Bolt and Coffee. A little bit, was there a move? I thought there was going to be a move from Hazer for a moment. He stays in behind. And now on the exit of turn 3, and we'll go up the hill, well, down the hill initially, then you go up the hill, quite drastically up the hill in fact. And now into turn 4 as Hazer got the outside line. They are now going side by side. Really, for the first time, they're going side by side because they've been quite competitive, but sticking in DRS of each other. Now they're both going at it here. Down the inside is Hazer, around the outside of Lynx piece, still fighting, and Hazer goes through, but Lynx is still there for sure. Next up will be Rusted Bolt as well. He is in this battle, whilst Coffee and Algerie wait in the wings. And can Lynx Piece get the move here on the AlphaTauri re-emerge in the race lead? I don't think he will. And they're all taking lovely lines as well on the run down into turn 10. And now on the run down into turn 1 they go. But there you go, the most competitive action we've seen at the front in Hazer and Lynx Piece. Oh, that was close. But yeah, certainly. Oh, it's Algerie's little look on the inside of Coffee. Loves a little move down the inside, doesn't he, Aston Martin? But he had a little look clear. Doesn't quite make it stick. But anyways, Lynx Piece certainly makes a move here on Hazer. And now it's beginning to get competitive. And there you go, Hazer round the outside. But he's gone off track. Off goes the AlphaTauri. And that could give the Haas the move he needs. Who gets DRS? It was the Haas who gets DRS. Lynx goes through. But what about the battles in behind? It's all very, very close there between Coffee, Bolt and Hazer. But I think this is the battle, and there you go, Coffee drops in behind Bolt. Not a typical move I'd see that from Head Coffee, to drop in behind. Very nicely done actually. I've got to say credit to Coffee for dropping in behind on the Haas rather, on that occasion. There you go, the 5-way battle. Prez is still sort of there. He has lost DRS a long time ago, but he's 1.1 seconds behind. You know what? They keep battling. He will get DRS back. So there's still a chance here for Prezi to put himself within the 1 second window. Merck is currently P12, well ahead of his teammate. He's now behind the pairing of Brewdog and Late Bloomer. And that is over a place in the top 10. But here comes Hazer once again, battling his way with Lynx Piece. Is he going to find his way to the top of the table? Yes, he will. Top of the tree goes your championship leader, Hazer. And further back, Doug does take Dom down the inside into turn 3. But there you go, Dom will get a nice exit as well. So he pulls alongside a Mercedes. And there you go, the Alpine with the straight line speed by virtue of having the DRS. And now side by side they go. Contact formed. Doug makes the contact with Dom, that is for sure. Dom now will just lose a few paces. So that was very tight there with the Alfa Romeo. But their contact with the Mercedes of Doug. I've got to say, I don't think Doug left particularly enough space, unfortunately, for the Alpine. It didn't look like it, at least from what I saw. Let's go further up the field and towards the race leaders. And back with it with Hazer squabbling with the two Haas drivers, then the Williams of Coffee and the Aston Martin of Alger. I still think Alger has done a brilliant job to stay up there with those 4 drivers. So yeah, that top 5 looks like the best 5 so far though. Ooh, getting a bit closer towards Bolt and Lynx as well. And Prez has rejoined this battle. So on the soft tyres, he's making them work. And Glue now makes the move on Doug. Now up into the top 7, Glue goes. Does have a time penalty as well. And squabbling away. Oh, certainly squabbling away. Oh, wow. Well, Prez makes the move on Aldry. We just saw the last moment of that. And Prez up into the top 5. But he does overtake Aldry. But Aldry certainly struggling there. I presume there may have been contact. But I can't guarantee who was at fault for it. Because I didn't see it. Simple as that. Anyways, back down then towards Brewdog. I'm thinking about having to make the move up because Bolt was getting close towards Link's piece there. But we'll stick with WBA Brewdog in his battle with UFRL Merc, although Glue goes into the pits now. So he just overtook Doug and now he thinks, yep, I need to box. There you go. Maybe he didn't want to be around Doug for too long, who knows? Now back to this one, Hazer and Link's piece, who's going to get ahead into turn 3. It's certainly Link's piece who gets it clear. He'll be hoping his teammate Rusted Bolt can follow him in, but this duo are certainly the ones that Hazer is trying to fight with right now. Coffee not too far back, within half a second as well. But there you go, it's a 4-way tussle right now, but Aldry and Prez not far behind. With Aldry taking the place of Prez as well, up into the top 5 for the Aston Martin, which is where he was before. Maybe Prez opted to not fight with Aldry on that occasion. Maybe there was contact potentially between them, but either way, Aldry back ahead. And now we go towards Hazer once more. This is the key battle. Merc, meanwhile, he's slowly finding his way up the field. He's now up into 8th place. He is ahead of Late Bloomer, but Late Bloomer is within 0.4 of a second of the Alfa Romeo. And Merc is almost on the same straight as the leaders now. There's only the Mercedes of Doug who is between them, effectively. And there you go. So when Merc does start this straight on the run through into turns 2 and 3, that is when the race leaders finish the straight. Which is quite interesting. But Black Panther now with a fastest lap, and there you go. Link's piece got back through on Hazer, and Late Bloomer is back ahead of Merc as well, but has no battery. So no battery, it seems, for the Ferrari of Late Bloomer, and that should mean it should make it relatively easy for Merc, or does it? No, Merc has not found it easy to make this move on Late Bloomer. But he will make a move here, because Bloomer doesn't get the exit he quite wants, and side by side they will go, and Merc is just ahead. And the Alfa Romeo clears the Ferrari, and up into the top 8 goes the former Ferrari strategy star in the form of UFRL Merc. There you go. Of course, we say that after the last, was it not the last race, the one before. There you go, that's where the strategy blunders happened for Merc. But either way, back into it now, as Prez removes his soft tyres and goes for another set of the soft compound tyre. Is on for the McLaren, so certainly a 2-stop strategy it will seem for Prezi. And we'll see whether he can make that 2-stop strategy work, but will these race leaders be opting for the 1-stop? Link's piece back down the inside of Hazer now. As you can see from the graphics here, can't see a lot from those graphics, can you? Let's see. Okay, I'm going to have to go on board with Hazer directly until the game gives me some good graphics. Let me go with this view just whilst they let us settle. Wow, they've really not giving us any graphics around here. Jeez. There you go, finally. Don't know why that took the game so long. Oh! PRV widget is around. May have some wing damage. Yellow flags in sector 1. The Alpine of Hybrid is catching him up. He just pitted for fresh soft tyres as well, did Hybrid. And he is certainly catching up. Doug receives a 3-second time penalty, and the race leaders are catching that of PRV Widget and Hybrid. And now a battle continues here between Lynx and Hazer, and Lynx piece settling in behind Hazer. Maybe they're both just deciding not to fight too hard right now. Don't forget, they need to save their tyres as well. They can't fight too hard with each other. You know, save their tyres, save their battery, if they can, and let Bolt, Coffee and Algery try and push their way. Don't let them push their way through, but make them use their battery, make them take more risks maybe. But certainly that top two, maybe Bolt as well to be fair, because Bolt has been settled in P3 for a long time now, several laps, as Late Bloomer and Merc continue their side-by-side battle. And the Ferrari with this time with a move round the outside, and he completes it with the move around the outside of Merc, who couldn't quite edge his car ahead. So back up into P7 now goes Late Bloomer, but these two are having a battle for quite a few laps now. So can Late Bloomer stay clear? But I think it will be a struggle. We know the pace that Merc can certainly have. And now we look back towards the leaders here as Hazer will have another look. And he goes down the inside of Link's piece. And also with a move will be Algery. This is for position. A bit of contact there from Coffee. It certainly didn't seem like Coffee's fault, in fact. But Algery and Bolt having a look at it. And now Hazer and Link's piece going at it. And now they have pulled a gap on those behind. Due to the move, it seemed, that I think Coffee attempted on Rusted Bolt. Certainly went for the overtake there. Did Coffee. But it didn't quite make it stick. So Bolt now will have to try and close that gap. Again, you don't know if Link's piece, it wants Bolt in there. Maybe he might just slow the pace down just for Bolt to get back into DRS range. Maybe that's something that you will need to consider. Prez making a move on Dom. Prez, don't forget, on the fresh, soft compound of tyre. And next up for him will be Late Bloomer and Merc. So we go back up then towards this battle between Lynx and Hazer. They've pretty much been battling the entirety of the race here, and well, Hazer is going for another move, and around the outside he goes, and now Hazer back into the race lead. Link's piece has to settle in behind, and Bolt's still there as well now. Algery does have a penalty. Doug also, of course, we saw that earlier on, but yeah, Algery with the time penalty that will not help him. Dom goes into the pits and onto a set of the fresh medium tyres. Sergeant Devsey also boxed. He's on fresh, hard tyres in P17. Back to the front we stay there with Lynx and Hazer. Ever so close now, about a tenth of a second between them. Bolt just behind them as well. There's a gap back to Coffee. Coffee is out of DRS range now of the top four. Let's say Algery's pace. He's still keeping up, you know, with this top three. Done very well to do that. Late Bloomer as well is sticking with UFRL Merc over a battle for P7. Does Merc need to think about an undercut to get rid of Bloomer, or does he think, okay, I could do an overcut and catch up to Bloomer again? Black Panther, I didn't even realise Black Panther had left. Apparently he did. Down a P14, Black Panther is into the pits, goes Late Bloomer, and Glow took Beast and is up into the top 10 now. Back up to the lead end with Hazer and Link's piece. A little bit of a challenging part of the track there for Lynx just to recover his car. Out of turn 3, looked a little bit out of shape, but is okay and still settles in behind the AlphaTauri. And now that means that Black Panther is into his car, and now Prez faces battle with UFRL Mercs. I think Prez stays, well, is ahead now on those fresher tyres. He's definitely catching up to that pack, but I reckon that pack will go hard to the end. That's the big question, actually. That is the big question. This game isn't being nice to me. No, I can sort of tell, in all fairness. Not just that, but I'd also say Glue as well had some problems a bit earlier. Oh, what's happened here? I think Devsey has lost place to Hybrid. Potentially made a mistake there, Devsey. He has lost the place to the Alpine of Hybrid, and yellow flags. Well, I know it's not up here, but I'm going to go towards this battle, but there are yellow flags, and now they have disappeared. It wasn't for Black Panther, was it? Maybe Dom, possibly, but either way, somebody brought out the yellow flags, and now Merc into the pit. Don't forget, his battle was with Late Bloomer. And Mercus out ahead of Late Bloomer by about 2.6 seconds. He's definitely gained a big gap there on Late Bloomer. So Mercus completed the overcut on Ferrari, and into P12 now goes Merc. So we'll go back to the race leaders then. Destroyer Drac is directly behind Doug at 1/10 of a second. He is still closing that gap, and now he completes the overtake on the Mercedes and up into P10. Destroyer Drac on 7 lap older medium tyres, both also with a penalty. Doug with an incredibly audacious move down the inside there. I don't think I would have tried that personally, no doubt about that. That would have been... I mean, that's just too risky a move, isn't it? Unless you're side by side. If you're side by side, then you can go for it. But I was very surprised Doug did go for that, in all fairness. Anyways, back to the front then with Lynx and Hazer. And these two keep trading positions here. They just want to keep up with their pace. They're happy with their pace, they know that they've got Rusted Bolt and Algerie with them as well. But they are certainly satisfied with their current race pace, no doubt about it. Again, the rain will arrive later in the race as well, so we have to be prepared for that. Then again, the clouds are looking a little bit grey now, so maybe the rain could arrive sooner rather than later. The approximate weather settings as well, it could certainly be sooner. It would not shock me as the Aston Martin of Algerie runs very wide on the exit of turn 10. Back to the front of this race with Hazer all over the rear of Lynx Peace now, and he'll have a look down the inside, and again he will make the overtake down the inside. I do wonder, is it raining now? Before I saw a drop, I'm not too certain if I did though. That's why I'm watching trying to watch the screen carefully as Lynx Peace does make the move on Hazer. I want to see if I see a drop of rain on the halo, that is when the rain certainly is here. See at the moment. So for now, it doesn't look like there's any clear evidence of rain. I did think I saw 1 or 2 drops, but obviously I must be incorrect about that. But the rain is arriving, or should be arriving, and it should be, I'm going to guess, fairly soon by the way the clouds are looking a little bit grey. And now, I'm certain it's raining. It is raining. Yep, maybe I was right then. But it is definitely raining now. And this is the question. Does anybody think about going intermediate tyres? Coffee is into the pits, getting rid of his mediums. And now, what tyre does Coffee go for? It's too early for intermediate, surely. Unless the track really does. Oh, there you go. First driver on the intermediate is Coffee. You know what time that is? It's gap to the leader time, and I will let you know when Coffee starts to close that gap. Let's go. We'll go back up the field meanwhile, just to keep watch of this battle, and I will keep watch of that time to Coffee. Currently stands at 27.7 seconds. You know something? That gap is not going up. That gap is going down. It's 27.6, 27.5. It's gone back up again. 27.6, 27.7, 27.7 still. Where's Coffee at the moment? It's Williams. Is now. This is where I'm interested. If his time goes down in Sector 2, it's definitely looking at. Yeah. I think Coffee made the right call. The has to continue. And that would have been Rusted Bolt. Sadly, he's going to be the one having to struggle. But yeah, he is. I think Coffee made the right call there. Yeah, Coffee made the correct decision to stay out. Or, well, actually, no, to pit for intermediates. Good decision for him. Good news, no safety cars yet. Yeah, no safety cars. Yeah, you're correct about that. Right then, so into the pits goes the majority of those runners. And Prez will be gutted about this. He was catching those leaders on those soft tyres, but now he's had to go for inters. I think the majority of those will go for intermediates as well. Merc stays out though. It's also, you have to think about how long is it meant to rain for? Because what I saw earlier, it was not due to rain for a particularly long time. So it may not rain for that long, in all fairness. It might only be for a short period of time. Either way, Lynx and Hayes are now battling away. And it looks like Link's just ahead with Hazer. Just dropping in behind, but he's having a little look around the outside now. A little bit squirmy there was Algerie as well. Algerie had some of the rain to contest with at Monza, and now he has some rain to contest with here at Austria. So there's only 3 drivers still on dry tyres. Make that 2 as into the pits goes Rusted Bolt. And he will definitely go for the intermediates. And he will drop places, that's for sure. He won't be in that top 3, I'm sure. Because he has lost lots and lots of time. I mean, Link's piece will emerge in the race leader. Look how much time he has lost. He's behind the top 3. He might even be behind Coffee now. Yes, he is. Oh, wow. He has lost so much time. Maybe it might have even been better for Bolt to have pitted. And even though they would have had a double stack, Merck is into the pits as well, and he's going to lose a lot of time. And again, he might not lose as much time as Late Bloomer, given that Late Bloomer did have to pit again. Let's see, Merck with a nice stop player. Now he will be battling around his teammate, it seems. Destroyer Jack is just coming into turn 1 now. Merck is able to get himself back onto the track. And they may be side by side here, the 2 Alfa Romeos. And there you go, Merck is just ahead on colder tyres, don't forget, so that will give Jack a slight advantage. But in the rain, you don't get too much of an advantage here, as into the pits goes Devsey, and off goes Hybrid as well. On the exit of turn 10, may have had a spin, but Devsey now getting rid of his hard tyres, the final driver to box, and Devsey a little bit late, but he does eventually go onto the intermediate tyres. So now we have to stick to the race lead, because this is a battle here, as Algerie had taken Lynx and now takes Hazer. Algerie is in the race lead, and here comes Hazer, who does not want Algerie to run away with things, knowing Algerie's in a quick car as well. Algerie runs deep, runs very deep here. Oh, this is incredibly close between them. Who will edge ahead? Hazer's going to go for it, Lynx may go for it as well. But they do not want Algerie to run away here. Yet the rain has certainly come earlier, and now side by side here. We can go and have a watch of this. A lovely bird's eye view, this one. This is a nice angle. But anyways, Algerie stays ahead of Hazer. Wow. So he's certainly in good form here, Algerie. And he's had a very promising week. If he can continue with that, who knows? He might have a late charge in Tier 2. Not saying a title charge, but he might have a late charge towards some strong points. But either way, with a good performance here, battling with Hazer and Lynx. But Rusted Bolt was the big loser, effectively out of those pit stops, because he was in this 3-way battle, which was at the time 4-way battle. But sadly, he's now dropped behind Coffee due to pitting 2 laps later. It's not the ideal scenario for Rusted Bolt. Coffee was a big gainer in all fairness. I mean, he's up to P4, and he's got that gap to Bolt that he needs. So Coffee pitted effectively at the perfect time. But how long will it be intermediates for? And look at this. Look at the gap now emerging between Algerie and Hazer. Algerie's tyres seem very well suited to this track now. And maybe his setup really working in his favour. Hazer and Lynx need to do something different, or they are going to struggle. But Algerie is looking good at the front of the field as he continues to gain time on both Hazer and Lynx. And maybe Lynx piece is thinking, Hazer, you're going too slow, I need to make a move on you. I think Lynx needs to overtake Hazer here, because he cannot let Algerie run away with this. I know Algerie still has that penalty as Merck takes Drac for P11. But there's no way Lynx can let Algerie run away with it. And again, Hazer can't really do that as well if they want to win this race without a safety car as well. There's no safety cars. Then they need to make a bolt. They need to make a move on here. I think Lynx piece has to be prepared to overtake Hazer. Without losing time himself, he can't afford to lose more time to Algerie than he's already lost. I mean, Hazer wouldn't want Lynx to make a move on him, but maybe here, this could be Lynx's best chance yet And he will go for it. Will he go in or out? He goes inside, trying to not let Alchemy run away with it. Side by side they squabble. Lynx breaks a little bit later. Hazer still there around the outside. A little bit of a move there from Lynx, but he does hold the place now. And Lynx is up into second place. He does lose about 4 or 5 tenths to Algri by making the overtake. But he does make the overtake, and yellow flags for Hybrid. So the spin, struggling on his intermediate tyres. Back out, I can't really say he's back out on track, but he's tried to get out on track. He's just sticking in the gravel at the moment because he knows he's got cars who are lapping him. It's not the best of races from him. Widget has also been lapped, and Defsea likewise. So all of those in the bottom 3 have been lapped here. There's a battle being going on between Black Panther and Stickman. And Black Panther up into P15. And again, I mean, I know Lynx Piece has overtaken Hazer, but he is not gaining on Algri as well. That gap is still hovering around 2.5 seconds. So whatever Algri has been eating for his dinner, it's certainly working for him. I mean, what's he been doing lately to emerge with this pace? Yeah, this is still the battle to watch, but it's not the battle for the lead anymore between Lynx and Hazer. Further down, Late Bloomer was also closing on Dom, but remains in P14. And Hybrid opts for a fresh set of the intermediate tyres. To be fair, this rain is coming down quite hard to the point where, I don't know, 1 or 2 drivers may even contemplate full wets if it keeps coming down this hard. So it's intriguing, these weather conditions, I've got to say, as to what you go for. I mean, Algri's setup seems to be favourable for these conditions, as yellow flags for a Ferrari of Late Bloomer. Don't forget, he was trying to catch Dom, so I don't know if anything happened between them, but either way, Late Bloomer sadly lost several seconds. Let's have a little look as Russ Bolt now has caught up to Coffee. 2 lap fresher tyres for Russ Bolt. And he is looking for a move already down the inside of the Williams. Taking the Williams by surprise potentially. And now on the exit of turn 3. Bolt is ahead, but Coffee will have a bit of slipstream. Going side by side, he will try and drop him behind. And that is the move done. Bolt back into the top 4 as he overtakes the Williams of Coffee. So back up into this position here, Lynx and Hazer. Now Lynx Piece is starting to close the gap, you know. 1.9 seconds between himself and Algri. And there you go, he needs to keep up with this pace and close that gap to the Aston Martin. All on 6 lap old tyres as well. So they're all on the same tyres. And this will be quite big news for all of them. Yeah, it'll be interesting, whatever happens in this race. And all be, I think certainly all will be fairly happy with their current pace. The happiest with their current pace, I presume, right now, would be Lynx Piece. Because he does look the quickest of the 3. By making that move on Hazer, I did say that was a move that was necessary. And it was also necessary for Hazer to let him have it, because also Hazer has been closing to Algri as well. You know, sometimes you don't necessarily need to fight it, especially if you can keep up with the car you're battling with, and then they can catch up to the leader. Yeah, there's a big chance there. Big opportunity here for Lynx Piece to get back in this battle for the lead then. Let's check with the penalty then. 3 seconds for Algri. A lot of 3 seconds are around 6 seconds for Glue and 5 seconds for Brewdog. Meaning Brewdog, when he does pit next to get rid of his inters, if he gets rid of his inters, looking at the conditions, that may not be for too long. I mean, the conditions are clearly intermediate still. I mean, it's not quite full wets, but full wets are, it's a lot closer to full wets right now than dry tyres, no doubt about it. But yeah, Brewdog, once he does come into the pits next, which he will have to do once more, these tyres won't take you to the end, I'm pretty sure about it, then he can serve that 5-second time penalty. This Lynx Piece now has pulled in 1 second now of Algri. I mean, wow, he is showing some blistering pace at this moment in time. And I mean, there's no DRS, so obviously he won't be able to overtake Algri by the means of DRS. But he is rapidly closing, whilst Hazer as well is sticking in this as well. And it's back to a three-way battle for the lead. Algri, Lynx and Hazer. And again, Lynx piece making that move on Hazer. That has been very beneficial towards both him and Hazer's race, in all fairness, if they both want to beat Algri for a potential win. So Lynx piece, I think both Lynx and Hazer made the right decision in effectively swapping positions. They did fight for it. Hazer certainly did try and fight back, but he just couldn't quite do it. But it was the right choice really from both drivers to switch the positions round, because look at Lynx's pace, and he's definitely in there with Algri now. Dropping further down as Merc has now caught Doug, and I get the impression here the Alfa Romeo will look for a move as Doug runs a little bit wide. I think there was a little bit of lag for Merc as well. See if Doug can hold the position. PRV Widget is having a battle himself with Sergeant Devsey. That's a little look for a move down the inside. Devsey does give him the space. And Widget with the better exit makes the overtake and up to P17. And there you go, Lynx has made a move on Algri. Was there any contact there? Because Algri now is having to fight with Hazer, and Hazer looks for a move down the inside. And he completes the move down the inside. And Algri has dropped from P1 to P3. But he is so close to the rear of Hazer now as Glue also takes Prez. He's up into the top 6 now, although he does have a time penalty to boot. Algri, wow, he is really struggling at this moment in time in comparison to that pairing of Lynx and Hazer. Maybe just struggled, maybe Hazer in particular struggled to get his tyres to temperature. But now they are certainly working more favourably for the AlphaTauri driver. But can he keep up with Lynx piece? That is the question. Yellow flags. It is for Late Bloomer. No, it's not. I lied. It's for UFRL Beast, rather. Sad for Beast. He now loses places to Doug and Merc. Merc now into the top 10. And would obviously take the place of Doug due to Doug's penalty. So Merc effectively in P9. The stage of the racing into the pits goes Beast. And I still wonder. Oh, it looks like the rain is starting to settle a little bit. It is certainly lighter than what we saw a couple of laps ago. That rain will disappear fairly quickly. I don't think it's quite dry tyre conditions time, as Dom has retired. Is that in the pit lane? It looks like he retired in the pits. Beast has gone for soft tyres meanwhile. So again, you know what time it is. It is a gap to the leader time. And we'll just try and keep checking. I don't think Beast will make any inroads right now, because it is still far from dry conditions. I say far from dry conditions. It's too far away right now until the dries can be considered by those at the front of the field. But it may not be too long. Still keeping watch of Beast's time to the leaders. Is anybody else thinking about a pit stop? A few penalties also are roaming around. Yellow flags for an Alpine. I think that would have been a DNF of Dom. The first DNF of the race. And the only DNF so far. And of course now the Ferrari. And it is it Beast again or is it Late Bloomer? There you go. Beast did struggle unfortunately into turn 3. So those soft tyres not working for him right now. And with PRV Widget a few seconds up further behind him. We'll have to see when Beast's tyres start to work more favourably for the Ferrari driver. But anyways, still keeping on with this battle for the lead, or do we consider dropping down? I think we consider dropping down, because Doug and Merc are squabbling and they are having a little look around now into turn 4. They are side by side and Merc does now make the overtake on him. And there you go, Merc completes it down the inside into turn 4. But Doug has the exit, you know. Merc squabbling hard, but did seem to struggle momentarily on the exit. But anyways, he has now got the position. And Merc up into P9. Back up into the race leaders. Black Panther has retired from the race in the pit lane. So 2 pit lane retirements for Black Panther and Dom. Still no safety car. 41 laps of action here out of 71. No safety car. And Beast has also retired in the pit lane. Maybe frustrated that those dry tyres were not working for him. He seemed to struggle at times. But anyways, so we've lost 3 drivers all in the pit lane. Beast, Black Panther and Dom. Hybrid receives a 3-second time penalty, and I do think he struggled himself. And there were yellow flags around this section of the track, but I think he will let, I presume, is that Widget or is that Stickman? Stickman is lapping Hybrid. Hybrid goes into the pits, may go for a dry set of tyres. Let's see. Gotta say, I don't think it's quite ready for dry tyres now, but again, I don't think we're too far away. Or is he going back onto inters? There he goes, fresh mediums now, so maybe he wants to get those mediums to the end. He also has to change his front wing. Back to the leaders then, with Lynx, Hazer and Aldry. Oh, Hazer with a move down the inside. I get the impression he didn't necessarily intend on making that move. I think probably just broke a little bit late. I don't think there was intention behind the move. I don't think he wanted to make the overtake. But I think in the conditions, he just broke a little bit late. And there you go. But there you go. Lynx piece does well really to avoid it. And Hazer stays in second place. Still going to have to watch out then for Hybrid. But none of these leaders for now are particularly... I mean, I say leaders. It wouldn't show us Hybrid's gap to the leader really. Like, not correctly anyways, because he is, I believe, a couple of laps down now. Certainly at least 1 lap down. I think he's not going to be too far away from being 2 laps. But I think he's 1.5 laps down now. And Stickman goes into the pits. And he is a lap down as well. So yeah, no doubt about it, Hybrid is 1.5 laps down on the race leaders. And Stickman goes for a set of the medium tyres. Into the pits also goes Widget. And very, very, very long time to get himself into the pits, but the Red Bull may also opt for mediums to get himself to the end as well, and there you go. And, oh no, never mind, it's a fresh set of intermediates for PRV Widget. Not sure on that strategy anyways, personally. I think he would have been better off to stay out. But either way, he's gone for fresh mediums. Yeah. Oh, you had no FFB. Oh, crikey. Yeah, that no real surprise, especially in the rain. It's probably not what you want to be doing. I did no FFB, and that's on controller. I did that Abu Dhabi be a couple of months ago now. To be fair, I wasn't that bad on it. Got P2 in the end, just behind my teammate, but yeah, it's still challenging, and that was in a dry, obviously, at Abu Dhabi. So if you're able to do anything in the wet with no FFB on a wheel as well, fair play. Anyway, sticking at it at the front here, I've got to say, one driver who has been slowly but surely pushing now is Rusted Bolt, and he has made it a 4-way battle once again. Because it was a 4-way battle not too long ago. But now Rusted Bolt has caught up to the pack. Now Hazer will have a little look and doesn't quite go for the overtake. DRS will be enabled fairly soon as well. Once it's enabled, then we will get back to a dry tyre running, no doubt about it. Doug on hard tyres. Again, I think is a bit early. Hybrid has opted to retire in the pit lane. He has struggled at times for tonight's race, but down to 15 drivers, still no safety car. And also I've got to say, there's not really been much of an opportunity for a safety car as well. And anyways, Bolt down the inside of Aldry now goes Rusted Bolt. Was there a little bit of contact? It doesn't look like it. Oh, Aldry. Aldry, not leaving a lot of space there for Rusted Bolt, I've got to say. Yeah, I think Aldry should really have left more space for Rusted Bolt than he gave him. But anyways, back to the front between Lynx and Hazer. But Bolt is certainly pushing and closing on the Aston Martin now. I mean, Aldry needs to start to think about the fact that I know he's got the penalty as is Hazer. I don't even when did Hazer when did he get that penalty? Got 30 seconds now. So this race is definitely favourable to the Haas duo of Linkspeace and Russell Bolt. Could be a Haas 1-2 come the end of the race, taking into account those penalties. And again, anybody who doesn't get a penalty, fair play. Russell Bolt re-overtakes Aldry meanwhile, and back up onto the podium goes Bolt. So, a splendid recovery from Bolt after struggling initially, well not initially in the race. Oh, went into the pits, goes to top 2. And DRS has been enabled. Oh, into the wall goes Hazer. Was it Hazer or was it Links? It was Links! Links into the wall! That has to be damage for the Haas. But can he change his front wing? If he's got any damage? I don't think he could have done. Or could he? No. There's a big question. Did he get damage from that? I mean, I can't see any clear evidence of damage from what I am seeing. But there is a question mark over whether or not Links has damage from that. He is well behind Hazer now, 1.7 seconds. Both have opted for hard tyres to the very end now. There's a chance the Haas may have damage. Not certain either way. But there's a chance he has got damage. Into the pits goes Brewdog and also Merc. Mediums and softs respectively for the pairing. Still waiting on the top 3 and Destroyer Drac to pit for new tyres as well. Dry tyres of course for those 4 drivers. Into the pits goes Bolt. Aldry joins him as well. Oh! And Bolt as well! Oh, I don't know what Haas have given their drivers. But maybe they made sure their drivers had the most slippery tyres ever. So there was no way, because both drivers struggled to make it into the pit lane. And both drivers effectively have lost 1 place each on their entrances in the pit lane. I mean, what on earth has happened to both Links and Bolt there? Because they have both lost 1 place and they have both lost a lot of time to Hazer and Aldry as a result. I mean, I'm sure Linkspeace can get back within a second. If he can, then he will be in a great position. Dependent on the penalty situation or the warning situation. Drac with his 5-second penalty himself for speeding into the pits. And he goes for soft tyres. Oh, not sure on that one, but soft tyres it is then for Destroyer Drac. I thought mediums would have been a better option, to be honest. As our Doug does get ahead of him. But yeah, not sure on that strategy personally. As our Merc makes a move down the inside of WBA. Brewdog, can Brewdog fight this one back? No, he cannot. That's a simple answer to that question. Merc is ahead now with DRS and up into 8th position. Both on 1 lap old tyres, but Merc is on the softer of the 2. Bolt is on. Oh, he gets rid of his mediums. Wait, what? I know what's happened. Bolt has got damage. Russell Bolt got front wing damage, and that must have been on his pit entry. Oh no, and he's now gone for softs. He's going to go soft tyres to the end. And this is not what Rusted Bolt needed for his race. He's now behind Prez. Quite a long way is ahead as to McLaren now. And Rusted Bolt, what looked like an odds-on podium, is now falling apart because he's down in P7. It is not a bone dry track, but it's certainly looking dry. But Russell Bolt's got it all to do if he wants to get himself even into the top 5. Which Glue has found his way up there. I mean, I don't know how, but Glue is now on the back of Coffee, P4. Then again, he's got 9 seconds of penalty, so he won't exactly stay there, even if he does make the move. Here we go with DRS enabled. He will get the move done. Coffee will try and fight it, a little bit surprisingly, I suppose. In all true fun, Coffee, I'm thinking maybe Glue can help me. With Algary having a penalty on the cards. By the way, Coffee tries to fight it this time around the outside of the Aston Martin. He does stay ahead. But maybe Coffee could try and work with Glue rather than fight with Glue. Glue, don't forget, is on the soft tyres. They will wear off come the end of the race, so Coffee's best strategy call is Glue does make a lovely overtake there. For me, Coffee would be better off trying to work with Glue here and catch up to Algary. I still don't even know myself if it's Algary or Algary. At this point, I'm calling him both, but either way, I think, it's Destroyer Drac now makes a move on Doug. Don't forget Drac on 4 laps special tyres and also he's on softs. Doug is on hards. But yeah, Coffee needs to see if Glue can close the gap on Algary, then maybe don't try and fight Glue too much and just let Glue's pace out, but this won't help Coffee. I mean, him battling with Glue this hard is not going to be favourable towards Coffee's race. Versus Bolt fast lap 106.6. Yeah, if these two keep battling, they are definitely not going to gain time on Algary. Coffee needs to work with Glue. The best way for Coffee to get back into that battle for P3 would be to work with the Aston Martin. It'll be better for both drivers, if we're being completely honest, because Glue's 9 seconds of penalties, he's not going to exactly get a podium, but he could still get a top 5 finish from this race. Coffee can still get a podium, again, if they work together. Algary cannot work with anyone right now, he's all on his own. These two can work together and catch up to Algary, and Algary gets another 3 seconds. And now that could be it for Algary. 14 seconds of penalties for Algary. Yellow flags. Could it be? Well, PRV Widget is certainly struggling to get his car back underway here. Could we see another safety car? Well, a first safety car, not quite. As now Glue and Coffee still going for it. Glue is back ahead. Coffee looks like he may try and re-overtake him around the outside. Is currently willing to settle in behind. Glue still has the better tyres, don't forget, on those softs, and it would be better, preferential really, for Glue to stay ahead. But there you go, both can, I mean, even though Glue's got so many penalties himself, 9 seconds, and the rate he's going at, Glue, he could end up beating Algary. But again, they need to work together. Oh, PRV Widget. It's a virtual safety car! Well, this could impact things here. How big of an impact will this virtual safety car have? Prezi does not box. What about Rusted Bolt? Will Rusted Bolt think, I need to fit here? He stays out. What about Merc? I get the impression that virtual safety car will be ending pretty soon. He might go in. No, he stays out. And then you've got WBA Brewdog just behind. He also stays out. I mean, if it stays out long enough, just Doug pit. Get rid of his hards. I mean, he'll lose no places. He could think about this. Just stay out though. Could have been better off pitting, but he stays out. And who will get a drive-through penalty? Will anyone get a drive-through penalty? When will that virtual safety car come in? And what will Hazer do here? Will he hit? Stickman gets a drive-through penalty. We had a feeling one driver may get it. Sadly, it is Stickman who receives it. And the American will have to deal with that penalty. And he may serve it this lap in all fairness. Where is he at the moment? Just into Sector 3 now. So he might have to serve it right now. PRV Widget gets rid of his softs. He may have broken his front wing potentially because it is an early stop given his penalty. Even though he was going at 2 miles per hour, he still receives a 5-second time penalty. and he has actually opted to retire from the race. Down to 14 drivers then, as the Red Bull has finished his race on lap 53. Back to the front, although, again I say back to the front, we're going to go to this battle. They've been going at it for a few laps now after Glue and UFRL Coffee. Coffee looks like he's in a good position to potentially end up on the podium ahead of both these drivers, Algary and Glue. I don't know, the two Aston Martins, I've only just realised actually Glue and Algary are actually teammates in this race. But I don't know how they can work together to deny Coffee that podium place, in all fairness. Because Algary has 14 seconds of penalties, Glue has 9 seconds of penalties. Aston Martin in total, 23 seconds of time penalties for Algary and Glue. Williams in total, 0 seconds of time penalties for Coffee and Dempsey. So it's a Dempsey debut. And, okay, yes, he probably hasn't had the pace that he would have liked. In fact, he hasn't had that many battles from what we've seen, but he's not picked up any time penalties, so he's still done a solid enough job. And, you know, at the end of the day, he will be in a better car next week. I can assure you of that. So, you know, good things for Dempsey, I'm sure, will come. Anyways, let's see what can happen here between Glue and Coffee. Yeah, Dempsey certainly, I mean, if it's judging is, it's tricky to judge somebody's pace on one race. But I think he deserves a better car next week anyway. Still got to keep an eye on that battle for the lead as well, because Hazer and Lynx, Hazer has a 3-second penalty. So effectively the gap right now is actually half a second. As Coffee falls out of a move on Glue into turn 1. Turn 1 is always that one spot where, although you can make an overtake into turn 1, you don't really want to make the overtake into turn 1. Coffee then does make the move on Glue and up into P4. The reason why you don't want to make an overtake into turn 1 is it will just cost you both time. Whereas at least into turn 3 and into turn 4 you won't really lose any time from a move. So, you know, just got to be smart about these overtakes. And certainly Coffee was in on that occasion, that's for sure. And he holds the place ahead of Glue as well. So it still looks like Coffee would end up on the podium here with a positive performance from him. We have a position change as well. The big gainers then. I mean, Algary has gone up 8 places. Sadly for him, that will drop to 7 at best, it seems. Glue has gained 14 places. He started directly in P19 and last. He's now up into the top 5, and he may even end up finishing in the top 5 based on the penalties. Penalty for Prezi behind. So a brilliant race here from Glue. And Lynx Pace is back within 3 seconds of Hazer. That is hovering around the 3-second stage. Here comes Glue again on UFRL Coffee. Down the inside he goes. And they've all squabbled away here on the exit of turn 3 into turn 4 now. I think Coffee has the DRS as well. Yes, he does. So Coffee pulls back ahead and is back up into the top 4. But still Glue with a brilliant race here. Up 14 positions in total, which is definitely one of the biggest gainers of the season so far in all tiers, not just this tier. So yeah, brilliant drive here from the Aston Martin. Tier 3 as well, Glue. So remarkable effort from him. And he's still keeping this battle tasty. Doug and Destroyer Drac are separated by about half a second, 0.6 of a second now. And that is a battle for place in the top 10. And you've got Late Bloomer, Devsey and Stickman a bit further back. But anyways, Glue has a look down the inside. They will lose some time from that. Not too much time actually. And in all fairness, you could argue Coffee did well to ensure they don't lose a lot of time. But now Glue back up position and Coffee is going to stay in behind here. So he goes a little bit wide there, Glue. That will give Coffee the initiative that he needs. But he is quite a way back on the Williams, or on the Aston Martin rather. And therefore Glue will just stay ahead, or will he? Coffee has a look around the outside. Glue will try and hold that line. And Glue is still ahead of the Dutchman. But Can Coffee get back at him? Again, it's very challenging to overtake around Sector 2 into Sector 3. But there are still opportunities anywhere on this racetrack. If you're alongside, you can definitely go for any moves here. Let's just stick at it with this one for now. Doug, I mean, he was 2 tenths and it was 6 tenths and it's 2 tenths. We're going to go towards it because he is now making this move on Destroyer Jack into turn 4 and Doug up into the top 10. Destroyer Jack just quite get back at the Mercedes there. And Coffee coming in again here on Glue. Is he going to make the move and get his car up into the top 4? Yes, he will. And Coffee now, taking into account he has no time penalties. Also, Lynx has got a 3-second penalty. Again, I missed that one completely, but the top 2 now, both are 3 seconds. And this is, again, Hazer's race to lose. But Lynx Piece is still gradually getting back at the AlphaTauri here. 2.3 seconds. He has been closing ever so slightly each lap. But with the current gains he's making, it will be a struggle for him to catch up to Hazer. Come the end of the race, he's not closing by a particularly good way as Glue. Into the pit, he may go for soft tyres here. Also yellow flags for potentially Stickman in the Red Bull. Let's see what Glue decides upon. And it will be, I'm presuming, yet a fresh set of soft tyres for Glue. And also got to consider as well, these drivers, a lot of them will have fresh soft tyres because they didn't really use much of them in qualifying. Still no full core safety car. I mean, that's crazy. No full core safety car. Fair enough. And all of the DNFs as well have been in the pit lane. No on-track DNFs. And we've done we're going to do 71 laps. Hopefully, it will continue that way. Lynx Piece, the gap now 2.2, 2.1, 2.0 to Hazer. And he might make it under 2 seconds. He is definitely gaining. So watch out for that battle. Lynx Piece v Hazer. That could still be the battle for the win come the end of the race. They both have 3-second time penalties. I mean, for any driver, if you could do 71 laps at Austria without receiving a time penalty, and to be fair to the drivers out on track, you've got Coffee, Russet Bolt, Merck, Brewdog, Late Bloomer and your debutant Devsey, who have yet to receive a time penalty. That's almost half the grid of those who are left. I mean, that is quite remarkable. Glue takes Russet Bolt. Don't forget Glue was on the fresh tyres. Unfortunately for Bolt, he is certainly not on fresh tyres. He would have liked to have been on medium tyres, but sadly, he lost his front wing going into the pit lane, so he had to change it. And also into the pits goes WBA Brewdog onto fresh soft tyres now. And he has got like Drac and Doug up ahead. Doug still on those hard tyres. Not sure they're working quite so well for him, but either way, he is now making a move back on Drac. Never mind, he sticks in behind. Oh, there's definitely contact between them. I mean, it looked like it was almost in slow motion. There was contact there, but it's probably perhaps it's more impacted Doug than Destroyer Jack, in all fairness. The gap between the top 2 at 1.6 seconds, 1.5 now between Hazer and Lynx, although that gap is going up and down every time they entertain a corner. 1.7 is the gap at this current moment. Glue fastest lap 106.2, and into the pits goes the Alfa Romeo of UFRL Merck. Let's see where he comes out of the pits. Going for a fresh set of the soft tyres. Maybe thinking a fastest lap point would be massively beneficial for him. And there you go. Fresh soft tyres, and for Merck, he will go for them for 10 laps here. Right, and let's see. And into the pits went the Mercedes of Doug as well. Fresh soft tyres for him. So they're all thinking now, fresh soft tyres seems the way to go. 4 drivers have gone that route. Glue in P6, Merck in P9, Brewdog in P10 and Doug P11 have all opted for the fresh, soft compound tyre. Back to the race leaders we go. I mean, there's no actual battle right now, in fact. Unless maybe Drac Pit. Let's see where Destroyer Drac is right now. He is just into Sector 3. Is he thinking he's at risk of losing these places, though? If he thinks he is at risk, then he will go for the pit. He might go for the pits. He goes for the pits. In goes the Alfa Romeo Destroyer Drac. Don't forget, he was battling with Doug. Oh, is he going too quick? No, he's not. But his battle was with Doug. And Doug is in that Mercedes. He is coming round into turn 9 now. And Destroyer Drac is serving a 5-second penalty. And Doug on the exit of turn 10 is down the straight now. But he will be a long way ahead of Destroyer Drac. But Destroyer Drac now, I think, does he have no penalties himself? He has 6 seconds now. Ouch. So he did have 11 seconds. But now, sadly for him, he is a long way back from Doug in the top 10. Doug? Wait, what? Oh, is he ghosted because the Aston Martin is going to lap him? I think so. Yeah, that's the only reason. I thought for a moment he may have been disconnected and I didn't even realise, but that's actually not correct. He is still in the race. It's only... Oh, and the debutant, Devsey, does unfortunately pick up his first 3-second time penalty. But again, he will be in a quicker car next week. And Doug picks up another 3 seconds as well. So that's now 9 seconds in total for Doug in the Mercedes. Can he hang on to a top 10 finish come the end of the race? I mean, he'll be battling with Destroyer Drac for that top 10 finish. But anyways, back to the front. 1.6 seconds between these two. But now Glue and Prezi going at it. Glue, that strategy call may be perfect for him. But he needs to make this move on Prezi. Prezi's going to make an audacious move into turn 9. It will be side by side here. Who will edge ahead? Prezi gives space. He gives space. Glue still holding it to turn 10. And there you go. An overtake made into turn 10. And Glue makes a move on the McLaren. But Prez will get DRS on the exit of turn 1. And now it's turns 2 and 3. Will Prez get back at the Aston Martin? Got a lot of battery left, I see, on the steering wheel there, the McLaren. And here he goes. Doesn't go for the overtake. And Glue, don't forget, is on the fresher tyres, but he's struggling for battery. As Merck 105.982 does get the fastest lap of the race. There you go, Prez stays in behind Glue, then that'll be big for Glue. Now, he has got Coffee ahead and into his teammate Algery. Got to really start thinking about getting the gap, well, the penalty situation on now. Wow. Algery has 17 second of time penalties. Okay. Not quite a disqualification that Glue got at Qatar, but still, it is 17 seconds. 29 seconds in total for the Aston Martins as well. There you go, maybe not quite enjoying this race are the two Aston Martins, but I say that, maybe they are, but they're just gutted that they've got their penalties. It's looking good again for Hazer, though. He's still built a good gap. 2 seconds on Link's piece. That Mercedes there. Looks like Doug. Doug as well, by the way. I mean, this doesn't feel right, the fact that Doug is ahead, but he's going to give DRS to Hazer. I mean, he might be the quicker driver right now, to be fair, and he just looks like he's putting a gap, but I think Hazer has DRS from the rear of Doug. Pretty sure he just about got it there. He did build a couple of tenths on Links as well. Does he get it here though? Let's have a little look. Yeah, he's got DRS still. Has he got it on the exit of turn 3? I mean, this allowing Hazer to build a gap on Link's piece, unfortunately, as well. It is certainly unfortunate for him. And now you can see Hazer built a gap. Oh, yellow flags. What has happened? Late Bloomy is back, so maybe he's just gone off track on the exit of turn 3. Cannot be certain, but I think that may be what happened to the Ferrari, but he is back on track. Still no full course safety car and still no on-track retirement. So, wow, no on-track retirement. That's incredible. Again, we're getting close to that 71 laps of racing. I mean, that is quite remarkable. Oh, a little bit of a slip there from Link's piece. That will cost him a little bit of time. And I think now we get a gap to the leader and the penalty situation on, because we are down to a few laps to go. And this is how it will look at the moment. So the top two stay as they are. Hazer ahead of Link's piece. Sadly for Links, he is not closing up to Hazer. And in all fairness to Aldry, he's done himself pretty good now. And as you can see here, Link's piece is starting to lap an Alfa Romeo. I think that may be Destroyer Jack. Yeah, it will definitely be Destroyer Jack. He did get to DRS as well. That may help him close the gap towards Hazer as well. It kind of balances out the fact that Hazer got DRS from Doug only a couple of laps beforehand. He's staying with the Alfa Romeo, be trying to battle it. Is he too far away? I think he may be, unfortunately for him. Yeah, he's too far away. He won't get DRS from the Alfa Romeo, sadly. Oh, Simon Dempsey has left the session. Give him a little invitation back. I think he should be able to rejoin. Make sure he can cross the line. Ah, there you go. Right, giving him an invitation back in, but anyways, Will Hazer, where is he at the moment? He's just got the Alfa Romeo behind him now. Sure, Destroyer Jack will try and overtake the AlphaTauri, however. Yeah, so Deficit is now back in, and let's see then what does Destroyer Jack decide to do. Does he go for the overtake? Does he stay in behind maybe? It would be good if he stayed in behind, just because Hazer will get DRS. I know Jack's trying to have a race as well, don't forget. He's trying to keep that gap to Late Bloom, trying to close the gap to Doug. Which, to be fair, he's not far away from Doug, but now Hazer will get DRS. Deficit is back into the session. But this is where Hazer gets DRS, and that allows him to build another gap on Links. Links piece, sadly for him. Neither of them have any battery left. It allows for Hazer to open up the gap once more. Coffee will end up on the podium though. He's well within that 17 seconds of Algory. He's got about 7 seconds or so in hand as well. So, good advantage there for Coffee to end up on the podium. But Algory still looks set for a top 4 finish. And in all fairness, even though he's got all those penalties, it's been a strong race from the Aston Martin here this evening. There is no doubt that Hazer looks set for another win. Can anybody topple the AlphaTauri? I mean, it's been a struggle for drivers to topple the AlphaTauri at all this season in all tiers. And it looks like he may end up on top again. 20 seconds now for Algory. He doesn't want to keep getting those penalties, or he could be at risk from losing places to the likes of Blue, or more importantly at the moment, the McLaren of Prez. Prez may not even know anything about Algory's penalty situation, but Algory has 20 seconds of penalties in P3. And the gap between him and Prezi is about 22 seconds, although Prez has a 30-second penalty himself. Maybe Russell Bolt could be a driver to watch, as I think Russell Bolt did he go for fresh tyres earlier? I don't think he actually did, he might be on those mediums still. Either way though, it is looking good, because now we're on the rundown into turn 10 on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix here. And now into turn 10 we go, And Hazer will kickstart the final lap here, Austria. But Link's pace, 1.5 seconds behind. He is not too far adrift. Algary is within DRS range as well. None of them have any battery, which could play a part, but Algary is catching the Haas of Link's pace. Doesn't really mean too much, really, but Algary, will he go for the overtake? He will go for the overtake down the inside here. And he will go, but he goes deep! He goes very deep here, and the Haas takes him back through then. That may cost Algary some time. Does it cost him too much time to lose any places back beyond Coffee? But either way, Hazer, 1.3 seconds. I don't know if there's any fuel struggles at all for any drivers. Again, factor in, we've had no safety cars. Has anybody not got any fuel left? We've had virtual safety cars, but no full cars. Merck, 3-second penalty. And Alfa Romeo, that may be Merck in fact. I think Merck may have gone. He's got Brewdog coming up to him, and Brewdog will take him. And on the final lap, that'll be it for him. But coming through once again, here in the 100% tier, Hazer wins again. He delivers in Austria. Link's Peace takes second place. Great performance from the Haas. Algary comes home in what looks like it will be P4 because UFRL Coffee takes a podium. And the Dutchman with a strong performance. Algary done really well though. 4th place for him, which also take into account he won on track at Monza in Tier 2 as well. It's been a very strong week of racing for the Aston Martin. Prez, brilliant 5th place finish from the McLaren, edging out Glue, who takes home P6 in the Aston Martin. Russell Bolt, 7th in the Haas. It was very close between that trio in the end, in fact, with the penalties included as well. WBA Brewdog, he will pip Merck over the line. Sadly, Merck had that struggle really. And there you go, Brewdog P8. Merck comes home in P9. And the final driver in the top 10 doesn't look like it will be Doug, who slowed down. I think he's actually maybe letting them through. There you go, I think he definitely did. Maybe actually just wanted to be lapped, I presume. Destroyer Jack did go through, and Doug comes through P11. But there you go, Hazer on top once again in the 100% tier. When can anyone topple him? I mean, I know he's been beaten this season, but not many times has Hazer been beaten. But he's done it again. Brilliant drive from him. In all fairness, everybody in that top 4 done really well. And that top 4, of course, being Hazer, Link's Peace, Coffee, and also Algary. All of them done well to get themselves into the top 4. And also, you've got to factor in though for Merck, there was no full course safety car in that entire race. And you could also consider that whenever the virtual safety cars, I think there were 2 virtual safety cars, whenever they came out, it wasn't really at any optimal time, because the first one was really early in the race, and the second one was, I believe, just after everyone had started pitting in a way. So there was no advantages under the virtual safety car. So the race was effectively won by your own strategy. And as you can see, few stops for everybody, only 2 stops. All of those in the top 4, which you could argue is why they deserve to finish in there. Prez was unlucky. He boxed earlier on for soft, and then the rain arrived. Maybe not quite expecting the rain to arrive that early, but sadly it did for him. But that top 4 for me were the stars of the show, plus Glue. Factor in Glue, what a performance. He got loads of penalties, but still top 6 for him after starting at the very back of the grid. Anyways, that has been your 100% tier race here, realistic cars in UFRL, and Hazer winning again. I mean, wow, really, really good stuff. 19 drivers, don't forget. I mean, the fact is that you're going side by side with quite a few of them. You know, a lot of the time you'll get spaced. There may be the odd time when there may be an incident and stuff. But there you go, really good stuff. No safety cars, no on-track retirements. 2 massive factors in that race, and I'd argue that the 3rd biggest factor was actually Merck getting a drive-through penalty. I mean, you could argue he had a brilliant race, or brilliant start, because he actually went to P1 into turn one. It was incredible. What a start from him. Let's just exclude the fact that he had a jump start. But yeah, apart from that, it was a thoroughly entertaining race. Pretty clean as well from what we saw. And yeah, 71 laps of action. And no safety cars, no on track for DNFs. Brilliantly done. And let's see what happens next week. Sadly, I won't be on commentary duty next week. I won't be available for it. But let's have a little check where next week's race will be held. If I can find out. Wherever it is, a race calendar. So next week's race in the 100% tier will be at... Wow, Discord. On the phone, it's not looking good. Let's go on my computer then. Don't know why it was so bad on the phone at the moment. Maybe they've screwed up with an update. Don't know. Maybe they've changed their name to EA and screwed up with an update. That must be it, right? Right. Next week's race then will be at Paul Ricard, France. So, to be fair, those in Tier 2 and I think maybe Tier 1, I believe, have also done France so far. So, they might be pretty decent coming that track. A little bit of experience there. But there you go. We will end the stream now, but that has been your race at Austria. So thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We have been UFRL. I have been UFRL F1 Viva. And thank you for watching, and good night.